In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I went about building this Sawmill Jig for my bandsaw. I had some little logs and stuff that I wanted to saw up into lumber, and yeah, you can buy stuff at the big box store, but you can't get the variety of stuff. And when you saw these limbs and stuff up, you never know what you're going to get. You can't get grain and figured stuff like that. I've got a little thicket of woods out behind me, and there's a lot of red oak back there. Some of it's fallen, and it's been really fun sawing it up. I'll probably make bandsaw boxes or something like that out of it. I watched a fellow build one, and he made his with firewood, and he made this part in here one length, and he used screws, and there wasn't just a lot of difference in what he could saw up. It had to be pretty much one length. But it dawned on me that if I make this part here movable. He made both of his where they just stayed in one place. But on mine, I'm just having one side stay in place, but the other side, this little gizmo here moves up and back. And it holds that log in place for you long enough. It's not designed to cause stress on the log. The screws hold the log in place. All this does is just hold that log in place long enough for you to line it up. You know your bandsaw is going to fall right on that line right there, because this is riding on your fence on your bandsaw. So you just always set this rig up where your fence is a certain distance from the blade, which is from here to here. And so then the face of that log that you're trying to peel off will fall, the flat side will be right here. It's kind of like for all practical purposes, it's zero clearance back here. But anyway, today's episode, my videos are not really how-to videos, because there's people that do stuff a lot better than I do, that can show you how to do things better. It's just my experience with wood. It's just the fun I'm having learning about different things and just trying different things. But I watched this guy build this, and so I went to SketchUp and designed this little sled doodle jiggy here. Cut it out, glued it and screwed it. So what I'm fixing to do now is show you, it might even take 2 or 3 episodes to do this, but I'm going to show you how I got to this point, and then I'm going to show you how I sawed up some logs and the result with that. But anyway, here we go. How to make your own Sawmill jig for your bandsaw. Hope you enjoy it.
Alright, so what I've done is I've sized these 2 pieces and drawn off 2 of my sides. So we're going to cut that. Did I mention I love my bandsaw? Alright, got to the side. Alright, let's put this thing together.
Okay, it hit me that if we take a piece of wood, put it underneath there, now what we can do, cut us a slot here, put a bolt sticking up with a thing that you can screw down and tighten it. This becomes movable. And in order to keep it from getting unwieldy and this being way too long, I'm just going to put a hole about every 6 inches and that way I can move the bolt. But this won't have to be so big to accommodate it. But anyway, you can make the board as long as you can handle it on your saw and cut as long a pieces as you want with the same idea. But mine's roughly 37, 38 inches long because that's the board I had. It was just there. You might also want to make the whole thing out of plywood. This is just what I had, and the board was relatively straight and had a good straight edge on it, so I'm going with it. But anyway, I'll show you on SketchUp how I put all this together and the sizes and everything. But anyway, so what I'm fixing to do now is put an elongated slot right here to receive the bolt that'll be sticking up. You'll see what it'll all come together in a few minutes. But I'm also going to go ahead and glue this up once that slot is cut. You know, it came to me as I was about to make two of these little pocket things to slide back into, and I suppose if you had both sides adjustable, there might be some advantages to that, but it would decrease the size of a board you could cut. Of course, you could just make this longer. But anyway, it hit me that one side can be static. One side can stay where it is. So in order not to screw into wood grain totally, I'm going to put this little cleat onto this and just simply glue and screw that to our back side here of the board. And then we really only have to have one side that's movable. Load your log in here, and it can be anywhere from yay big on up. You know, the more holes you drill to put your bolt through as you adjust for the log that you're cutting, the closer you can get to this. I mean, you can get it down to 3 or 4 inches, I suppose, if you were wanting to saw something like that. But I'm assuming we can get on out to probably a 3-foot log on this. Anyway, I've already pre-drilled my countersink holes. Let's put a little glue on this puppy. This is not rocket science. This doesn't have to be perfect, but I just like making things as good as I can. It's practice for the next project that I have to do right. Really all you're trying to do is, this device is just going to give you 2 flat sides on a log so you can then saw it from your fence. Alright, let's screw that in. Oh, that would split, wouldn't it? What we're going to do, we're going to back that out. Nope. We're going to fill that with glue and then back the screw out. If you don't have some artist spatulas for your glue, get some. You'll love them. And you got to put glue down in a crack like this. Works it right in there. Now, back the screw out. Crack it, tighten it down. Let it dry, re-drill, and drill deeper this time. Be surprised how good that works. I hate that it split, but so be it. Can't even tell you how neat that is. I don't know if you can see. I mean, it's just basically a glue line now. Yep, that's going to mend up nicely. Delays my process, but that's okay. We'll get it. Just didn't drill that hole deep enough and it split. Now comes the part where we I'm going to assemble the little fixture. Made parts for 2 of these, but it turned out the way I'm going to wind up doing it, I only need 1. It simplifies the design considerably. Oh yeah, got to cut our slot in here. What we'll do is drill a 5/16 hole, since I'm going to use a 5/16 bolt, here and 1 here. Then we'll cut with a jigsaw and make that slide. So I'm going to go do that right quick. Okay, hope you can see this. What I've done, I've drilled a 5/16 hole at each end, connected my radius there, and now I'm going to go and cut that slot right there. And you'll see why as time goes by. Now, as you can see, cut my slot and clean it up a little bit with a file. Really all you got to do is just sort of clean the burrs out. Some of you are going to make it prettier than others. Mine's not real pretty, but it's going to be functional. Alright, so much for that. Okay, now you're starting to see how this is all going to come together. And our bolt will come up through the other board, up through here. And I'll fix me some kind of little knob to tighten that with. And then what we'll do is once, as I said in an earlier clip, I had changed my mind and 1 end will be stationary and this will be the only end that moves. And through each end I'll put 3 screws. So it's not the pressure that you're going to apply by pushing this up against the log, it's that you're just going to get this snug and then put the screws in there. That'll keep that log in one plane so it does not move while you're trying to run it through the saw. All of this will get clearer. Okay, I'm going to do some glue up here. Okay, here's where we fire the gun. Once we get the glue down to the bottom of the bottle, and we spread like crazy until we get it done. Alright, here we go. Oop, 1 more face. Alright, I think I got all my faces square. I hope so. I think it's square enough. And when that contraption dries. Okay. Now I always keep a little bowl of water and a rag. Clean this glue stuff up. thought about what I was doing. I set up 2 drills, but I didn't. This one's easy. All right. You know, once that dries, I think I'm going to pull these screws back out and do that with a peg, because if my blade were to happen to hit that, it probably wouldn't be good for it. I mean, yeah, you need to be careful and probably never hit it, but sometimes we're just not in the present. Which is not good for woodworking. You need to be in the present all the time with woodworking. Okay. Let's talk myself out of putting another nail in that thing. That nail's going to be hard to get out. Should have used pegs. I'm learning. But we already got it done. Break time. I hope this is lit to where you can see what I'm doing. Cut this little shape. I also hope I'm focused. 70-year-old eyes, hard to see the monitor, so small. What I did is I just made me a shape. You can probably make it a little thinner than that, but for my purposes it's fine. Made me a shape, sanded it off a little bit. I'm using a 5/16 inch hardware, so what I did is I measured the shortest side across the, you got a hexagonal shape there in that nut, and that came out to be a 1/2 inch. Okay, across to the points is going to certainly be longer than that. But what happens is when you do it that short width, if you take that and just sort of drive it in there slowly with a hammer, that thing seats and you're not going to turn it. I mean, not for the uses we're going to be doing. If you were going to really be putting a lot of stress on it, then put some epoxy in there before you hammer it in. But makes a nice little, anyway. So now when this comes up under the board, that'll be sticking out. That'll just simply go on there. Boom, boom, boom. Tighten it right down. Yes, buddy. Alright, so there's the knob. Okay, now what I've done, once again, is I use my trick with using the shortest width across the head of a hex nut, which turns out to be a 1/2 inch. I use Forstner bits to place holes along the way here. This is going to come in from the bottom. Now what I'll do is go back and drill a 5/16 inch hole in the middle of that. Now I've already done that here. So then what I did is I came in and drove that into that hole. Now when I pulled it back out, now my finger can tighten it. You want this to be under the wood so that it won't drag on your saw. But now I can take that bolt which sticks up here. This fits on that. Once our post is up over here, then this can be moved up or back, tightened down. Where's that little thingamabob here? And of course there's going to be 3 screws right here, and that will go into the log to secure the log, keep it from moving on. I put a washer in there to make life a little easier. Now, that's just not going anywhere. You know? So, once those screws are in there, really, then the screws are going to hold that in place, and this is not going to be able to move anyway because of the screws. So this really, it just more or less sets the piece. It doesn't really hold it. But I'm already seeing what you got to be careful of. that can't protrude, and it's protruding, so I gotta fix that. That is not good. That is not good, and okay, don't make the mistake I made. Here's what I did. When I measured my 3 inches across, I did not account for this. Well, that is fixable, but oh my. Okay. So that's a mistake you don't have to make. I will fix that. But anyway, you get the idea now of what's going to happen. Log goes in here up against this post that we're going to put in later. It's glued up over here drying. Put your log in, and if your log is shorter, go under here, push that out. Yeah, right. Then put it on down in the appropriate hole to accommodate the length of your piece, but it's adjustable. You could make this as long as you could handle it on your saw. You could make it 8 feet long, but it would be hard to handle. It'd have you some supports under the ends of it, but it could be done. Anyway, so much for right now. All right, so here we are. All finished. Final thing is going to be to put the screws in that will do the wood. Let me get a piece of wood. I just happen to have a piece here that we've prepared. And let's put it aside.